the lowest grade A- on this trade. A+,
Really?
A+ for The Athletic, A for CBS Sports, A- for Yahoo Sports, A+ for Bleacher Report.
That's a little bit of a surprise to me because immediately after I saw a couple of B+, I think from The Athletic and ESPN, but maybe a little time to reflect and what have you.
And maybe different writers too.
Obviously,
Yeah.
But the first four you picked up were A+.
First four. I Googled them. I Googled Durant trade report cards, and I picked the first four that popped up on the Google machine. That's a perfect. I didn't need the GPA calculator for that one. It spit out a 4.0. That's why I pulled up the GPA calculator. Did you get like a 4.5 for an A+? I don't know.
I think you get a 4.3 if you're at a school that does that.
This particular calculator just spit out a 4. So the Rockets got a perfect GPA. They're the class valedictorian. Raphael Stone, congratulations. You get to do a speech for all the other GMs. You're valedictorian on the Kevin Durant trade. Phoenix not grading quite as well.
Phoenix got a D on that one.
Phoenix from The Athletic got a D, a C from CBS Sports, and then C- from Yahoo and Bleacher Report. They're on academic probation, according to this particular GPA calculator. They have a 1.6 GPA on this trade. And if you look at their roster now, I didn't look at the Phoenix side all that closely. I know you and I had been looking at their draft capital situation.
Yeah.
And their salary cover. They're still over the second apron for you CBA nerds out there. I had no idea that they now have 7 two guards on the roster.
Yeah, that's I saw in all the negative grades for the Suns, people kept saying, okay, so you traded for a player that provides you the exact same problem you already have. Is that the roster, you don't have the full complement of players. You're heavily loaded in the backcourt. You brought in maybe a better version of the same types of guys you already have, but it still doesn't fix anything as far as making the Suns a competitive team.
There was a tweet that came out last night that revealed what Minnesota was offering in this in their offer. Durant didn't want to go there, so it's irrelevant. But if Durant had wanted to go there, it would be relevant. That trade would have been a better one than the Rockets because it had Rudy Gobert in that trade. Yeah. It had a couple other guys. That's a trade. If you're trying to stay competitive, that actually gives you a roster where it's at least constructed sensibly.
There's an element here, in terms of, I think a lot of people, the perception is that Kevin Durant basically just turning trade deals down until there was nothing for the Suns to do but go to the Rockets. Yeah. Whether that's accurate or not, who knows? But I'm gonna buy into it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yes.
It feels like when D'Amico basically said, "Nope, I only want to go to Houston," and you're like, "Oh, cool." Now there was less reason for D'Amico from the outside looking in for D'Amico to want to go to Houston and Houston alone.
Yeah.
Obviously, he has the. With Durant, it's more that there's all those ties to Udoka, to Steven Adams, to everything else, but also they're just a much better franchise than the Texans were when D'Amico took the job.
I think it's smart. If you're Durant, it's smart. Oftentimes you see these trades, and you want to go to a team. Deshaun Watson's a good example. Now, Deshaun didn't hold up his end of the bargain by playing well, but you go to a team that trades its next 3 first-round picks for you in the NFL, that severely damages their ability to put a championship contender around you.
Yeah, the Browns traded for the right to be the 2020 Houston Texans.
That's right.
It was okay, we'll have a quarterback that we like, except even worse because now we're paying him 5 times more than the 2020 Texans were paying their quarterback.
Yeah. No, great point. So yesterday, Seth, as you know, I put up a poll the day of the trade as to how people felt about it, and I was surprised that people were here in Houston, that people were so overwhelmingly in favor of the trade that 90% of the voters in my poll felt either okay with it or strongly approved of it.
And that's with, it's not like all your followers are from Houston either.
Right.
So I always give it 90% on a Twitter poll to me is basically unanimous.
Yeah.
Because you're going to always have 10% of people from outside of Houston or 10% of people that are just contrarians. So that's that's close to unanimous in my mind.
So I put up a second poll yesterday for the constituency that did not like the Kevin Durant trade. Have you looked at this yet or no?
I have not.
Okay,
I do not look at your poll.
Okay.
Ever.
I love when you guess about the pie poll results. Pender poll. For those who do not like the Kevin Durant trade from a Rockets perspective,
Yeah.
Why do you not like the trade? These were the 4 choices.
Okay.
KD's age/injury history is one choice.
Okay.
KD's personality.
Okay.
KD's likely contract extension coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We gave up on Jalen Green. Those are the 4 choices.
Ooh, boy, that's a tough one. Man, I could see this being split pretty evenly. And those are all valid objections.
I agree.
I suppose. Yeah. Other than I don't believe like Jalen Green, whatever. But it's valid. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
Yeah. It's an opinion.
You're wrong, but it's how you feel. All right. So of those 4 things, I think the most likely objection is KD's. Well, the contract is kind of tied to the age as well. But so I'll just say the overriding issue would be his age and injury history. I'm going to say that got 34% of the
Okay,
votes.
you got. I'm going to give you a ding for getting the right answer. I'm going to give you a buzz because, 78.5%.
Oh, wow.
Age and injury. I'm with you. I was surprised it was that lopsided because I talked to a lot of people the day of the trade, like in person, text, social media. I was communicating a lot, and his just not liking KD was such an overwhelming response with the people I talked to. I thought his personality would great. The rest of them are all like 6%, 7%, 8%, almost 80% age and injury history.
The easiest to go over. And that's the one that I think emotionally you can flip that switch pretty quickly. Yeah. You know why? Partly because we all watch so many the TV series now on HBO or Netflix or wherever else, where you're accustomed to all of a sudden the character you despised for the first 3 episodes. Yeah. Wait a second. No, turns out he's the best one of the lot. Yeah. You can flip real quickly on that. And so I think people got over whatever personality objections they had.
And the more you hated that person, the more you like them when you're on your side. There is a huge dead cat bounce when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So this is, and I think Kevin Durant is kind of like, okay, when Beverly was here, you knew in your mind, if you thought about it rationally, okay, if Beverly leaves and he's playing for, say, the Clippers or something and acts the exact same way, I'm going to hate him. But everything that he did with the Clippers that you hated, you loved when he did it with the Rockets.
Yes. Yeah, man. Like, I'm looking at Durant cooking Emmanuel Acho on Twitter yesterday. I'm like, get him, KD.
That's it.
Get him. Yeah.
Don't take no guff from the haters.
Called him the worst linebacker of all time. After Emmanuel Acho did this segment where he measures greatness based on how many titles you won divided by how many teams you played for.
Oh,
so, like, Steph Curry's the greatest of all time because he did it all with one team. KD won 2 titles. He's been on 5 teams now. So his greatness, his Acho greatness factor is very, very low. KD said, according to the great Kevin Durant legacy formula that was created in the best labs at MIT, Emmanuel Acho is the worst linebacker of all time. You sure you want to listen to this guy about greatness?
Because he, at the very least, went to Emmanuel Acho's Pro Football Reference page to see if he'd ever won a championship or anything.
He wasn't very
good. He did a little
good.
bit of research on that, or at least had one of his minions do it for him.
Yeah.
That's our KD.
That's our KD. And
this is his city.
Yeah, and
I've never loved him. I've never stopped loving him ever since he emphatically came down underneath the rim and said, "This is my city."
That's right.
About the city of Houston.
And then called Emmanuel Acho the worst linebacker of all time.
That's our KD.
That's our crusade, KD. We've been on it forever, and you're with us now. Did I say Astros when I meant Rockets at one point during the segment?
Who cares?
Texters.
Why
That's what
are you guys quibbling about details at this hour of the day?
We got KD cooking on social media, man. Who
cares?
It's
a team in Houston. Use the context to figure it out.
Thank you very much.